All right, ready? One, two, three, boom, and we're back.
What is that, party people? Let's do it. Boom.
Bad movie review. This is the podcast where I guess now it's where we watch a movie and we talk about it.
We get into it, and we figure out if it's really bad or not bad.
Really into it. I'm your host, Vishen.
I'm your host, John. What's up?
And this week, wow. So we took off, we unleashed the filter. We watched something that was totally outside of our comfort zone.
What, you mean you talking about the last one we did?
Yeah. I guess technically the one before that we took off the filter, but this one too. What's all that noise? Are you moving around?
That's weird. Can you hear that right now?
I hear everything you're doing. It's like
no, man. Like somebody opened a door downstairs. When you heard that?
I hear everything. It's just technology, man.
Dude, you know what it is, man? It's funny, man. Like to have a better sound. Like I have really high ceilings, which is cool, but when you're trying to record, it's not cool. It's like it sounds. It's like an echo within an echo. But yeah, whatever.
All right, so anyway, this week we watched 2015's Bone Tomahawk. That is not a porno. It is an adventure, drama, horror.
Bone Tomahawk.
Unrated? Ugh. This movie was made on a budget of $1.8 million. That's like not that much.
Hold on. $1.8 million.
I'm holding.
That is amazing. This movie was made on that budget.
Let me see if I can find out what it grossed, because it's not on this site. Let me check this other page. Hang on.
I mean, this thing probably made quadruple what it obviously was.
I found it. You think it made quadruple 1.8 million?
It all depends, man. It all depends on the type of distribution that it got.
So it made. You ready?
How much?
232,000.
Bone Tomahawk. That's all it made. That sucks.
Yeah. So that was like the opposite of quadruple. It's like.
But are you sure that is that after or before it became, because like it's on Amazon Prime like all day now?
That's box office, dude.
I mean, that's the thing though. Like this movie didn't even have a box office release. I think it was released like in 2 cities.
According, well, let me check out the.
Because the only way I heard about it was
citation.
Was whatever Netflix style.
This says it was released in Croatia, Norway, Poland, Portugal, Russia, Ukraine. I mean, it was released, baby. And yeah, it made $232,000. It wasn't released in the U.S.? What? Let me see. Hang on a second.
I don't think we have the full numbers, but I don't know.
I don't think this is accurate either, because it was released in Croatia, but not the U.S. That doesn't sound right. Well, whatever.
Yeah, they're just talking about like the overseas or something that it made. Bone Tomahawk.
Yeah, it's not even listed on IMDb, so I don't think that those are accurate numbers. But whatever, who cares? This isn't like.
Let's go over to Box Office Mojo. That's
where that citation was from.
Oh, dude, and I just went to it, and it says we are in the process of updating the site.
It's on Wikipedia. It's.
You gotta be kidding me! I just went to the Box Office Mojo is literally shut down right now.
Yeah, but I just read it off of Wikipedia, and it cites Box Office Mojo. So, but who cares? This is not a major release, so it really doesn't really matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's more important is that this movie is not rated and has a 90% tomatometer on Rotten Tomatoes and a 72% audience score.
Which is funny how the audience likes it even less than the critics. And this is the type of movie that it should garner more audience in my opinion.
Why do you say that?
I believe that it should, because it's more of this is like a straight to DVD type of movie. This is like one of those movies where the audience are the only ones who can actually, say,
I would
hey.
think. Okay, I would think the exact opposite. I would think that like the critics would love this kind of movie because it's all dramatic and personal and shit, and audiences would hate it because it's slow and boring.
I mean, well, obviously,
I guess it could go either way.
Right. I know why the critics love it, because it's so refreshing, in my opinion.
This is
Like,
refreshing.
like from every, and that's the thing. When you're a critic, you watch everything, right? You see everything. You're just like, it's the same old same. And I'll segue into a good example, by the way. Okay, I was watching the movie Den of Thieves with
The new one with 50.
Yeah, with Fiddy.
50.
Why does everybody say Fiddy? Like he's like a side
50.
character in the movie. He's like not even I mean, he's one of them.
Because he's one of the only people that will promote the movie like crazy.
Yeah, that actually has good promoting. But yeah, the other guy's in it too. What is Gerald Butler or whatever?
People were talking shit about Eminem's album. So 50 Cent goes on Twitter and he's like, y'all better shut the fuck up, talk about Eminem. Den of Thieves out tomorrow, featuring Gerard Butler. Like, what? Like, the guy will take any opportunity to promote a stupid movie.
Yeah, that's right. I follow him on Instagram, and he's like, he's got an Instagram photo of him and some actor from the show Power.
Yeah.
And he's like putting in work for new season of Power. And then he's like, hashtag Den of Thieves.
I know. It's like I saw, it's like he gets hit by a car and the ambulance is there and they're like, who do we need to call? Who's your significant,
They're like, 50, you okay? He's like, yo, go watch my movie.
Den of Thieves, y'all.
He's like, I want to thank y'all for helping me. My lung collapsed, but I hope y'all check out my movie, Den of Thieves.
He's like, y'all can let me die. I don't care. Just go see my movie, Den of Thieves, starring Gerard Butler and your man.
Like, I might have to stay in the hospital for a couple of days, but just go check out Den of Thieves. Like, I gotta say, he is a promoting. I'm just saying, like, the way that he promoted this movie so much, like, I was surprised at how little screen time or how little dialogue he had in the movie. I was like, dude, this guy's like a side. He sounded like he was a supporting character. Was it a supporting actor in this movie?
Wait, is that movie in theaters?
Yeah, it came out like a week ago. I saw like a shitty version of it. I saw like a really terrible. I was literally bored. I was like trying to, every time I eat some food or something, I'm just like, I have to watch something. So I was watching that, and
dude, I think that's a real disorder, by the way. I don't know if you know.
What is eating?
Can't eat without. No.
Oh yeah, dude.
Without watching something. Yeah,
watch out for that one. Let's say if I eat without watching a movie, like I feel like I wasted the dinner. Like if I listen to a podcast while I'm eating, I feel like it's not good enough. I'm like, why did I waste my time eating? I should have watched the movie. That's so weird. I don't know.
There's like kids in third world countries that they would listen to this and be like, "Fuck you, assholes."
No, if it helps people feel better, I only eat once a day, so there you go. Oh I'm already acting like a third world country person.
Oh God.
It's like, he only eats once a day, and it's actually really healthy to do that. But we can do another podcast about that later.
Right.
So, all right, my whole point was that I was watching Den of Thieves, and like in the version that I was watching, like the audience was like loving it. They were like laughing at all the jokes, and I'm watching this movie. I'm just like, this movie is nothing special. It's the same, rehashed, reformulate. You know what it is, dude? I would even say, I don't know if you're going to watch the movie, you want to spoil it a little bit?
Yeah, I don't care. It looks so formulaic. I don't think
dude, it's one of those movies that, like, all right, so it's basically like the poor man's Usual Suspects. They tried to do like some Usual Suspects thing in this movie, and it was just stupid the way they tried to do it. But I mean, look, for a movie, it's watchable. Like, it's like, all right, here we go, this and this and this. But I can see why critics would say Bone Tomahawk is so refreshing. Thank you, Lord, someone making this movie, versus like, seeing another Den of Thieves where it's just like, all right, same thing. Put the actor in this thing, and then.
Yeah, but Bone Tomahawk came out 2 years ago.
Right. I'm just saying. I was just trying to like. I was just trying to say that when a critic has to watch a movie, they watch a lot of movies. They're just like, here we go again. I'm gonna give this movie a shitty review, or vice versa. Which is why Star Wars got such a terrible, critic review.
I thought it got a high review. High critic review.
Yeah, isn't it funny how Star Wars has 90% just like Bone Tomahawk? Have you noticed that? Or has it gone down in the critic review?
Let me look.
I think it's gone
right
down.
Now, no, it's exactly at 90% right now.
This is why I feel like all these like critic review things. Like I feel like critics can't turn their back and say I changed my mind. Like if they change their mind, I think they probably get like what's the word? They probably get ostracized. Like he changes his mind too much. We can't trust him.
Well, I don't think you actually could, because once you post a review, that's it, right?
But that's the thing. Like a lot of people rewatch a movie, or now I'm sure all these critics they have like their own podcasts as well, and they might say like,
actually, I think I could be totally wrong, but I think I might be making this up or imagining it, but I thought like Ebert like did a bunch of books where he like went back and changed his opinion on some movies or something.
Yeah, I've heard that. I don't know if it's, but I'm wondering why a lot more critics don't do that, like in podcast form or even like in new articles. I think it just, you know what it is? It's like, it has to do with the marketing of the movie, obviously, and they just move on to the next movie. They're not going to sit there and be like,
why would they? Yeah,
I went back 6 months later and watched Star Wars.
I don't think people would, unless you're really that interested in what they have to say. I don't think most people really care. Like it's their job.
Yeah, I mean, we're not following Roper and be like, you see, I remember what you said about Star Wars, Roper. You're wrong, man.
You fat hack.
But Kevin Smith gets that kind of hate though. Like,
yeah, but he doesn't do real reviews. He's not a critic. He's like a fucking comedian.
But yeah, that's the thing. I saw like another article about him where he was trying to explain why so many fans would hate Star Wars or something. Yeah, but like they would only write it about him because he's like a celebrity.
First of all, he loves everything. He's very rarely critical about anything.
And you even had Josh Gordon-Levitt even chiming in.
He doesn't
to Rainn Johnson's.
He doesn't actually
defense.
Critique anything. If you ever watch any or listen, because I'm a big fan of his, if you ever listen to any of his podcasts where he quote unquote reviews,
I mean I think
all he does is talk about the synopsis and make jokes.
Well, and this Star Wars movie was like one of his first reviews that he ever recorded and put on a podcast or whatever he did.
No, it wasn't. He does it all the time. Oh. He's got like Justice League, Thor. Or, like,
okay. Yeah. I don't know, dude. I don't know how you were able to sit through Justice League. I would have walked out. I would have been like, "Give me back my money right now."
Yeah. I mean,
how dare you?
I'm a fan of the characters and stuff, so it was made it bearable.
Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, I don't really have an investment in any of the characters anymore. Like Batman was probably the closest one, and after Batman vs Superman, I was like, whatever.
Plus, I mean, it's one of those things that's kind of like so bad you can't turn away.
Well, that's the thing. Like I literally just started chiseling the movie apart. Like I think it'd be good to see it with a friend just to like make fun of it. Like this movie is so bad. Look at that scene, and oh my god, that scene's so horrible. Like they made Wonder Woman look like an idiot. Like everything she said just sounded so canned. I was just like, was she trying? Was she even trying?
All right, well, let's talk about this movie. So
let's talk about this amazing masterpiece of why. Look, I'm telling you, bro. This is why filmmaking is so special.
All right, well, hold on. Let me set this up for the audience. Some people may not know what this is.
That's right. Let's do it.
Then you can gush.
You guys buckle up because this is going to be amazing.
So, let me read a real synopsis. Hold on a second. Bear with me. Okay, here we go. Here's a good one. All right. Now, this is too long. This is like 5 paragraphs. Let me read you this one.
Yeah, just read like half of it.
This is the really high-level synopsis. When a group of cannibal savages kidnaps settlers from the small town of Bright Hope, an unlikely team of gunslingers led by Sheriff Franklin Hunt sets out to bring them home. But their enemy is more ruthless than anyone could have imagined, putting their mission and survival itself in serious jeopardy. This is a gritty, action-packed thriller chronicling a terrifying rescue mission in the Old West.
It's gritty.
This movie was not rated, and it was directed and written by S. Craig Zoller, who did...
It was Craig S. Zoller.
This says S. Craig Zoller.
I got it. Oh, yeah, it is S. Craig. Never mind.
And he is known for... I
think this is his first movie.
He's got other credits. Oh, yeah, I think you're right, yeah.
He probably did like some student films, but
nothing really noteworthy. But he was born in Miami, Florida, so that's noteworthy.
This is awesome. I can't wait to talk about this movie.
All right, go ahead. Say what you want to say. Oh, well, actually, so
let's keep the format going.
So this movie has Kurt Russell as, I think he was the sheriff, right? Yeah, sheriff.
Yeah.
Patrick Wilson, he's just like a random citizen named Arthur.
And Patrick Wilson is the guy that was in Fargo season 2, I believe, or no,
Yeah, and
season 1 or 2.
He's in the Insidious movies, and he was in Watchmen. He's in a lot of stuff.
Right. He's like that kind of guy where he's kind of forgettable. But when this movie came out, Fargo was, I think that was like in their season 2 or 3. It was season 2, I think.
Okay.
So that was like on TV and stuff, and that was pretty big.
We got Matthew Fox from Lost. He plays Broder. I think he's like a bounty hunter or something. I wasn't exactly sure what he was.
He's just like a bachelor, like type of like drifter guy. Obviously,
This says John Bruder, a local educated man and known womanizer.
Yeah, and he kills engines.
Right. Richard Jenkins plays Chicory, who's the like deputy sheriff, right?
Dude, Richard Jenkins, man, I did not know that was him. That's the same guy from
Step Brothers.
Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah. Lily Simmons. I never heard of her before, but I like her.
She looks like a hotter version of Julia Stiles.
Yeah, it's good.
Really good. Like, this is what Julia Stiles should look like.
And then, okay, you should hashtag tweet her that. Like hashtag
could, dude.
Lily Simmons. What you should look like.
A guy like me could probably get a hold of her because
tweet her.
What has she been in lately? She's just depressed, probably.
And then there's some other people, and then David Arquette has a small role in the beginning.
That's right. Your favorite actor, David Arquette, is in this.
My favorite actor. Your favorite actor.
Yeah, you were the one that was like, there needs to be more movies with David Arquette. This guy just really adds to the mix.
I never said that. You're the one who's like, Eight-Legged Freaks. Was it?
Yeah, you were like, Eight-Legged Freaks is so amazing. That was your idea. What the
fuck? Horrible movie. Anyway, so, all right. I mean, basically, you got these cannibals, kidnap a bunch of people in this town, and then the sheriff and some other dudes go to get him back, including Patrick Wilson. They took his wife, and for some reason they didn't do anything to her. I thought that was kind of weird. But I don't know.
Yeah, they had her for like over a week or something, right?
Yeah, I was kind of confused by that. But what do you go ahead. Gush away.
Gush away. We do the history. I found out about this movie. Yeah, I found out about this movie just via, obviously, at the same time, I think this movie came out a little bit after The Hateful Eight. And,
no way. This is 2015.
When did The Hateful Eight come out?
Let me check. I thought The Hateful Eight was last 2016.
Hateful Eight was 2016.
Oh, no, you're right. 2015. Yeah, you're right.
Okay, so obviously you watched The Hateful Eight, and I was like, man, Kurt Russell is the man. And then, all this Reddit buzz was happening, and they basically said, like, if you like The Hateful Eight, you should see this movie. It's so gruesome. And then they had the scene on YouTube. They just had that one scene on YouTube where, like, there's a really gruesome scene for anybody who hasn't seen this movie yet, where, like, the Indians, like, chop this guy in half. And there's, like...
That was on YouTube?
Yeah. Yeah, that one scene. Because at first I was like, Bone Tomahawk, this movie looks corny. I just watched the scene on YouTube because I'm not going to watch the movie. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, I was cringing. I was like, this is gross. It was basically like where the sound effects and everything, you felt for that guy getting his body. And this is the thing, he got hacked apart from his balls all the way. Yeah. And they, so basically I watched that scene. I was just like, all right, I have to see this movie now. This movie, dude.
They
this
put
movie
that
is,
on YouTube? Are you kidding me?
That was on YouTube. I'm not even joking.
Like uncensored?
Yeah. That's the thing. If it's a movie and it's an action movie, like death is like totally fine. Like on YouTube, you can have like people getting their heads cut off because it's just like Braveheart or something. So,
all right.
So that movie, I was just like, oh my God. And so the first time I watched this movie, I watched it with the idea of just looking for the action. Like, all right, I don't care about the dialogue. I don't care about like the characters and how they work together and like the dynamic of the movie. Like, I was just like, yeah, you just watch it. So my first time around, I was just like, yeah, it's a good B movie. It's a good, like, it's a good movie where things are happening. And I like the way that they filmed the troglodytes. That's what they kept calling it in the movie. The way they filmed them and how they were so fast and like how you could die like so easily. Because usually before it's like, oh, he had a chance, but the way that they shot this and edited it, like you're just like, oh my god, like that guy just got killed and he didn't see it coming. I didn't see it coming either. They did a really great job with the movie magic on that because a lot of times in these movies, man, like they have this scene where the chick doesn't look to her right and she gets hit by a train, and it's like, well, she didn't see it. It's just like, dude, you gotta give people a little bit more. Like I've talked to you about this before. Like I don't know if it's probably not even uploaded podcast we've done before, but like, yeah, dude, you gotta give people some like a little bit more leeway. You can't just be like movie magic decided that this chick couldn't hear the train coming, so she's dead. It's like, come on, dude. So this movie does a really great job of working with that and not making it seem like yeah, the Indians are quick and fast, but the way that it's edited, you're like, oh shit, like they actually got away with it. They did it. What about you? What's your good old history?
I never heard of this movie ever. First time I heard of it was when you suggested it.
Yeah, because you wanted to review Hateful Eight. We'll probably still do that one.
Yeah, let's please do that for next week.
Yeah, why not? Do a little Kurt Russell double.
Yeah, there you go. That's it. That's the only history I have. I mean, I don't know what else to say.
All right, cool. What's the next thing we have to talk about? We talk about...
We usually would go talk about the cast.
Oh, yeah. Awesome.
So, I don't know. What do you think?
I thought this was casted beautifully. Like, whoever the casting director is a genius. Like, every character had something to say. Even from, like, the opening scene where you have that old dude and you have David Arquette, and they're just, like, low life murderers killing people in their sleep, right. Is basically what they were doing. The not Chicory, the Kurt, obviously, you got Jenkins, you got Bruder, you got every character in this movie has some sort of like just flair to them. It's weird, man. Like even the ones that have like one line or two lines, you're just like, who is this guy? I want to know about this person. Like, okay. You had the cowboy and his wife. What's the guy's name?
Patrick Wilson and
his wife. So Patrick Wilson's he's like a cowboy, like a herder or something.
His character's name was Arthur and his wife was Samantha.
Right, and in this movie, for some reason, when I first saw it, I thought he was like a sheriff or something, but he wasn't. I thought he was like a doctor, but he wasn't. His wife basically is the doctor or whatever.
Is that what she was?
She knows how to tend to people or fix their legs or I don't know.
Okay.
Because they basically called her to the police station.
All right. Okay.
I don't think it's called police. What do they call?
Yeah, sheriff's.
Yeah, go to the sheriff's place. And every character just had a soul in this movie that just worked. Like you just want, like there's like a lot of different scenes you could just, as an example. But like the David Arquette example is awesome. David Arquette, really small part. Every line he used, like the way that his character is introduced, and the way that his character, if it weren't for him, none of this would have ever happened. And the way that they set that up and just make it, the whole reasoning, like, and they even say it in the middle of the movie. They're just like, you should have never shot him in the leg, and da 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 da. And
you're talking about the intro scene, right?
Right, but then there's like the scene where Kurt Russell confronts him and then shoots him in the leg, and then that sets across the whole reasoning. Yeah, the whole reason why all this happened. And Arthur's obviously yelling because his wife went to go fix the tend to the guy or whatever.
All right.
And they all know. I think one of the reviews I saw was just like, or no, that's right. One of the song in this movie that actually the director wrote the song, or he sings in the song or something. It's like Four Riders Doomed or something. Like
I don't know.
Like they know that they're gonna die when they go on this trip. But I mean, it's everything. Everything's so freaking just. It's a symphony. It's a masterful symphony. And I'm gonna say right now, this director Craig S. whatever, he's basically on the same level as Tarantino in terms of dialogue. Like he's there. He's literally right there.
It's pretty high praise.
That's some, and that's the thing. It took me having to watch this movie for the second time to really appreciate everything these guys were saying, like the dialogue, like the just the way that they all talked. Like Kurt Russell, I'm gonna take a survey. Let's go take a survey. Let's go take a survey. Because he's when
right now?
Yeah, when Chicory's like oh, I found this, I saw this guy, I don't know who he was. Let's go take a survey. It's like, who says that?
Okay.
That's
Well,
so awesome.
I want to read the critics consensus from Rotten Tomatoes. I think it kind of encapsulates what you're saying.
Oh, nice.
It says Bone Tomahawk's peculiar genre blend won't be for everyone, but its gripping performances and a slow burning story should satisfy those in search of something different. Which actually kind of adds to what you said about critics looking for something different because it's refreshing.
That's the thing. Like you watch this movie and you'll be like, I did not expect any of this the way it happened. Like the way it was enveloped.
Enveloped or developed?
Enveloped.
What the hell does that even mean? Let me look this up. Enveloped.
Yeah, what is that? What did it mean? Could you say enveloped the way it enveloped?
Past tense enveloped and current tense envelop, wrap up, cover, or surround completely.
There you go. The way it wrapped up.
Is that what you meant, or did you mean the way it unfolded?
Well, that's the thing. Like the way I kind of meant that the way it was packaged.
Yeah. Okay.
Like the way it was like the way they packaged it all together and just like sealed it.
Did you really mean to use that word, or are you just trying to?
I actually did. Yeah. Actually, I've heard it used a couple of times, I guess, but I can't remember where. But then you could also say the way I could have said the way it developed, but everybody says that the way it developed is like that's so boring.
How about unraveled?
I've heard that one way too many times too.
Fine, whatever. Do you think that you would have survived if you lived in the Old West?
No, probably would have died really quick.
I thought I heard somewhere that Westerns are totally fake because in the real Wild West, like they wouldn't do shootouts. They would like shoot each other in the back when they weren't looking because everyone was like really a coward.
Right. Where it's not like I know how to draw my weapon really quick. I think a lot of it's just like
It wasn't all dramatic.
Yeah, I mean, well, obviously it's just romanticized spaghetti westerns and
right.
And this movie it kind of does that, but it kind of doesn't. But it had a good balance. Like it wasn't obviously just like quick draws everything, but yeah, it wasn't as.
I don't think I'd survive. I mean, if I don't have like internet and like a good bathroom, like I'm done.
I mean, you got to realize something, man. Like, and it made me think. This movie made me think about like our current state right now, with like politics, and you know how they say, you don't you won't find an atheist in a foxhole. Well, I would say that after seeing this movie, it made me think like you won't see feminists in the frontier, settlement or whatever. You're not going to see that. And this movie kind of shows that it was like really hard living. Like, it's like you get a ride 5 days to go somewhere. And they kind of do. I'm telling you, man, like the pacing, they did a great job. The first time I saw it, I was bored. I was like, hurry up. But the second time I was like, dude, the pacing in this, like I was sold, man. I was like really into these characters. I was like, yeah. I was like, oh man, they're traveling. So, and the guy, Arthur, he has his leg all fucked up. And dude, I thought about that. I was like, oh my God, like imagine having to walk 2 days with a fucking broken whatever, and his legs like got gangrene on it.
People were a lot stronger back then.
I mean, and that's the thing. There was no option. There's no like, oh, I'll just get a car. I'll just
there's no Uber.
Either you keep moving or you die, and like something eats you.
Yeah, people really were made of some real tough stuff.
And they even showed like in certain scenes where like these guys are just napping, and like these, there'll be people trying to rob them.
The ambush, yeah.
Yeah, getting ambushed, and that was probably a common thing back then. Like just getting ambushed when you're trying to sleep in some, some area.
Yeah.
Some wooded area where.
Reminded me a lot of Red Dead Redemption.
I never played that game. Like I'm highly. I can't wait for the new one to come out, but.
Yeah.
I never played the first one. I wasn't.
I feel like I'd be one of those ambushers, because like you're either an ambusher or an ambushee,
Really?
And I'd want to be an ambusher just because if I let someone ambush me first, then I would be marked as like easily ambushed.
Oh yeah, you always want to be. You always think that you're that guy that's like never gonna let somebody get the.
Yeah, like I don't want to ambush anyone, but I don't want to have to be the ambushee. It's kind of like you go to prison and they say you should like kill someone on the first day to like. Show how badass you are. It's like
or beat up somebody who's badass or something like that the first day.
Like show your dominance, like same thing. Like you ambush someone, no one's gonna ambush you.
But that's the thing, like, you know, you could see how people had to cooperate, and this movie did a great job of like showing like how you had to cooperate back then. Like you really had to trust who you were working with. Which is why, like, you know, because before, like, at first, like, some of these movies are all corny and stuff. Like, I got my wife, I love her dearly, and I'm just like, dude. And back then, you had to appreciate your wife or whatever, and for a lot of
your wife or whatever.
For a lot of people, like that was your support system. Like, dude, right. Like the word support is my support system. We're together. We're a team. Like that's all bullshit today. Like nobody cares. Like you're not really a team. Like if your wife gets cholera today, you know, you'll be fine tomorrow. I mean, you'll be like mad or something, but you're not gonna like die. Like, and back then, this chick, if without this chick to tend to that guy's leg, he's probably gonna be a mess. He's not gonna survive.
Yeah, true.
He had to go get her. Like that was like, this is the thing. Back then, like women were like property. Like you see how those savages. So what they would do is they would kidnap. I guess they kidnap women and they impregnate them, and that's what she was probably going to be. Like she was probably going to be one of those chicks.
Well, this thing says right here. Let me just read this. 1 second. It says, this is at the end of the synopsis. It says, in the cave, realizing 2 of their men were poisoned, the leader grows angry. He and another tribesman pull Hunt from his cell, cut open his abdomen, and shove the hot opium flask into the wound.
Yeah.
The leader then takes Hunt's rifle and shoots him in the arm and abdomen. Arthur arrives and kills one of the tribesmen, while Hunt kills the leader with one of the tribe's bone tomahawks. Arthur frees Samantha and Trickery, while a mortally wounded Hunt stays behind with his rifle. He prepares to kill the surviving cannibals when they return to prevent them from terrorizing Big Hope. As the 3 leave the cave, they see 2 pregnant females who are blinded and have all their limbs amputated. That's what that was. Okay.
Right.
I could tell it was like a pregnant person, but I couldn't exactly see who that was or what that was. It wasn't clear.
Yeah, I'm wondering. I guess I wonder what it'd be kind of cool to interview the director, but I wonder what the timetable was and why they waited so long. Because I'm wondering if they would have just turned her into that like simply, like real quick, like chop her legs off and then we'll just freaking gouge your eyes out.
It's very much Hills Have Eyes, Part 2.
Yeah, I mean, had they done that though, it would have been too gruesome. I think it would have been just like.
Well, it's not rated, so.
They would have. Well, I was saying like they would have gotten there and she would have already been all messed up.
I wonder if that's why this didn't have a major release. Who the hell?
Yeah, definitely. Like I'm sure, like the goriness wouldn't have allowed it. Like, cause it wasn't gory per se, but every time there was a scene, it was just like shocking. It's like wow, just like oh, like yeah, the scene where they put in that opium flask into his body, I was just like Jesus Christ, like just great acting on Kurt Russell's behalf.
Yeah.
Because he's like sitting there and he's just like, well, what are you doing? Ah! Oh my God. I looked up what troglodyte means. Let's see, troglodyte. It's a person who lived in a cave. A person who is regarded as being deliberately ignorant or old-fashioned. Yeah, because these Indians live in caves or whatever. These Indians. All right, so there's 2 kind of fun scenes I wanted to mention real quick. There's a scene at the beach when they all go to the bar.
Okay.
They're all in the bar and they're like, all right, they found out that they've been kidnapped or whatever, and then Kurt Russell's like, all right, we gotta, where is it? So they go and get like some other Indian guy who's like an expert. Okay. And he's like, can you take us out there? And he's like, no. And he's like, why? He's like, because I don't want to die. He's like, you're all gonna die if you go out there. And then they're just like, and they kind of try to shame the guy, and he's like, I'm not going out there. And it's like you kind of look at it and you're just like, that guy is one of the smartest guys in that room right there. Then there's the other scene where Bruder is having a little fight with the guys because he's talking about how many Indians he killed or whatever. And oh no, that's right, that scene where he's talking about how there's plenty of women that want to invite me over for dessert.
Yeah.
and then they kind of question him and they're just like stop, and he's like guys, I'm like basically the smartest guy here, and they're like why would you say that? And he's like because I never got married or something like that. It was
Oh
like,
yeah, yeah. And then the
it's,
guy's like, he's like, yeah, okay. Like he didn't. He's like, I don't know how to respond to that.
I obviously butchered the line, but I should have just looked it up. But
Yeah, he's like, yeah. What did he say? He's like, I'm.
actually,
Yeah,
let me look it up.
you said it pretty close. He's like, I'm the smartest. I'm the smartest of all y'all. And he's like, why is that? Because I never got married.
I'm gonna put
Something
in
like
married line, Bruder married line. That did not come up. Oh, there's the clip. Oh, here we go. Yeah, he's like smart men don't get married.
that. Hmm. There you go.
This is hilarious. Oh, here it is right here. What is that? All right, here we go. Your similarities, not your differences, will create. What? Is it right here? All right, never mind. Screw it. But yeah, he's like, smart men don't get married. And it's almost like the way he says it, people they like they stare at him like wow, like we
Hmm.
can't believe you just said that. But it's funny how after he says that, like the movie kind of punishes him in general because of that. Like it definitely couldn't have made that guy come out like victorious. Like basically he just gets his hand cut off and dies a horrible single man death. I mean, obviously Kurt Russell too, though he gets it bad,
Yeah.
and Kurt Russell's character is one of those guys where he does this because he's what every guy wants to be like deep down inside. Like we all want to be self righteous. We all want to be doing it for justice,
Hmm.
and he did a great job with that, like showing that. And Arthur obviously did it because of it's his wife. Um,
Right. But he was really, yeah, and he was kind of like a weakling, but he proved to have like a lot of willpower in the end.
yeah, that's the thing. Like he was one of those guys where they were just kind of like, look, you're already injured. Why are you doing this? You're gonna,
Right.
we have to like pick up your slack.
Right.
And dude, the dynamic between all these four men is I've never seen something like this in a long time. Like maybe like some Sergio Leone movie, maybe like some Reservoir Dogs or something back in the day. But currently 2015, 2016, like it's rare that you get this type of movie. I might be hopefully maybe in something in the comments can refresh my memory. But
Wait, what do you mean? Fresh memory on what?
no, I mean there might be some movies I'm missing or something that you
Okay.
have this kind of dynamic between this many characters at once, like
Yeah, I
four
got you.
people.
I
I mean,
got you.
dude, Chicory, dude, like his voice, that's some good acting, dude. Like I had no idea that he was the guy from Step Brothers.
Yeah, I could tell right away. I mean, but I mean, I know him. Like I could spot him in a lineup if I had to.
Really, because like, the makeup looked like you couldn't tell. Like I had to literally see what he did.
But his voice is pretty distinct too. That kind of gives
Well,
it
no, he
away.
usually has a deeper voice, and he does the whole like,
Yeah, it's true.
oh yeah.
I don't know. For some reason, I could tell. It wasn't like instant. Like I was kind of like, oh, that guy looks familiar, and then once I recognized his face, I realized it's.
Like in Bruder, what else has he been in? Like I don't I've never watched Lost, so to me, like I still have no idea what he's
He
been in.
did a couple of like action movies that weren't very popular, and then I think his career kind of went nowhere. Lost, I think, was the big height of his career.
Really, he's in some action movies. Let me see.
Yeah.
Matthew Fox. Oh my god, he looks totally different.
Then the movie, because he doesn't have the
Wow.
most. The
Well, yeah,
most.
that's what I'm saying. Like the way that they made him in Tomahawk. Well, he was in World War Z. I had no idea.
Probably had a small role.
Oh Jesus, yeah, he was in Vantage. I never
Oh
saw
yeah,
Vantage Point.
Vantage Point that came out. I think that was the first big movie he did, because that was same time as when Lost was still running. Um,
Oh
and
my god, dude, have you seen? Why did Smoking Aces get a 29%?
because he was terrible. I think I saw
That was
that.
dude, I thought that I enjoyed that movie.
Wait, which one was that? Let me look this up.
That's Joe Carnahan.
Actually, I don't think I saw this.
Joe Carnahan has made some dope ass movies. And
Oh, wait, yeah, I
Smoking,
did see this. Yeah, I remember
it
this.
wasn't bad. I mean, it was
Finally.
entertaining.
It was so long, I don't even remember.
I saw that movie in theaters, I think. I literally went to the movie theater to see that movie.
Literally,
Literally. I
you
love using that
actually
word.
went to the movie theater.
That was in 2007? Wow.
This says 2006. Oh, but it was released January 2007. That's weird.
It was a cool movie. It was like a really, I mean, it was a basic action movie, I guess, but
Well, okay, let's talk about so let me read some of these critics' comments. Because this movie's got a 90. Let's see. So
I hope that they do make some Tarantino references.
Matthew Bond said, Bone Tomahawk begins and ends with moments of such sickening violence, it's difficult to remember that what comes in between is actually rather good, if in a clearly Tarantino-inspired way.
Oh, I knew it.
There you go.
Oh.
But that's not even a critic I was going to read. So Tom Huddleston from Time Out gave it a fresh rating. He said, equal parts charming, strange, goofy, unpredictable, and genuinely horrifying. Let me see. Let me find these are all fresh. Hang on. Bill Ibiri, wow, from New York Magazine / Vulture said, Bone Tomahawk is terrifying and strange, to be sure, but it's the old-fashioned veneer that makes it beautiful. I want to see some of the negative reviews. I'm just curious what they had to say.
I mean, you probably have to go to like IMDb or something.
No, there's negative ones on Rotten Tomatoes. I just got to go to the last. Oh, here we go. Wow, this guy says, Kevin Maher from Times UK says, it is mostly just an excuse for the debut director S. Craig Zahler to whip the rug out from under you, Tarantino style. There's another Tarantino reference.
Yeah, he tried to say it like in a negative way. He's trying to copy. He's copying.
And then let me see. Here we go. William Bibiani from Crave Online. Okay, he says, Zahler's commitment to objective realism, despite his out-there premise, denies the audience the sort of engagement that might have made Bone Tomahawk truly subversive and truly great.
This guy has all the answers. He's like, I would have solved your problem there, Zahler.
Yeah. And he's like, he really gets that Zahler was committed to objective realism.
I mean, you got to realize that I'm surprised that this was actually a good movie for some guy who's making his first film. Like, this is like dangerous ground right here to actually get funding and to make a movie like this.
How did he get Kurt Russell, Matthew Fox, all like.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how did
David Arquette? I'm not surprised, but like.
Well, dude, this is what I'm saying. Like, it's like people. It looks like a type of movie where people are just like, I want to be in this movie. Please let me be in your movie. Like, it looked like that. Like, how do you get these types of actors to all work together like that?
I don't know. That's like a mystery to me. I don't know.
This is one director that I actually want to like interview and be like, dude, like you're crushing right now. How did you do it? I saw his newer one, Cell Block, Brawl on Cell Block 99. That went straight to Prime as well, Prime Video.
He's killing it with Prime.
Well, this is the thing, man. Like, look at Hollywood right now, man. It's in shambles. Like, nobody cares. Nobody cares about the Oscars anymore. Nobody cares about Golden Globes. You're getting Amazon, Netflix. You're getting them to make these side deals with directors who have good ideas and good scripts. And they're saying, like, why do we need Miramax or whatever the heck, it's Touchstone or
the major studios.
And this is why you have movies like Bright getting attacked by the critics.
I gotta tell you something funny. Like, downtown, there's a movie theater playing Bright.
Oh, really? No way.
That's gotta be illegal. You can't be able to show that, right, in the theater. But
they might have worked out a deal. I mean, it's Netflix.
What deal? You can't show a Netflix original in a movie theater.
Oh, but that's the thing. Like, the Alamo Draft House and stuff like that. Like, they always like show, like these weird movies. I'm sure they have some sort of like thing.
I guess. Well, it was kind of funny. Like, it's almost ironic. You start out in the movie theaters, then Netflix becomes popular. People move to that, and now it's like showing Netflix movies in the theaters. Like, it's like the complete opposite. It's almost like if you had a phone that you used to make phone calls.
Yeah, I don't get why the theaters are doing that, but I guess the theater is going to be a theater. Like, that's the thing.
Because it's like, I think it's because it's like hip or ironic.
Who would actually
like, look? I'm going to a theater to watch a Netflix movie. I'm so hip.
It's got to be people who like literally still go to the library. They're like, I just go to the library because I don't have computer.
Could be, yeah. I mean, I don't know.
I mean,
Anyway,
because it's based all about convenience. Like the only reason why you go to a movie theater now is literally because you don't want to stay inside your house and you're just homesick or you're cabin sick, cabin fever in your house.
well, there are. I mean, that's not totally true, right? Because I go to the movies to watch movies I can't watch anywhere else. Right?
That's true too. That's
Yeah.
basically the main reason why people still go to the
Yeah.
movies. That's like
If
the
that,
main reason.
if that was, I mean, it's very likely that if, it's some with the advent of like better TVs and better home,
Right. Well, that's the
entertainment
thing
systems.
because of 4K now. Like I
Yeah,
think the only thing
we'll
that's
get.
look, the only thing that's holding this up right now is that these big major studios are taking their sweet ass time with trying to figure out how to distribute this. Because like, dude, and this is the problem. This is why
Well,
they deserve.
that's what I'm trying to say. It doesn't seem that impossible that eventually, you know, as like Netflix and Amazon, their original stuff becomes more popular, that the model will change
Well, I
with
mean,
these
dude, like
big
this is the thing. Like
studios.
the model is going to change already. It's already happening, and it's going to happen without these guys. Like look at the music industry. Like look at all these big labels. They still try to act relevant, but they're not. Like people are just laughing at them.
That's what
And
I'm saying. Yeah, I'm saying like it could go the exact same way in a couple, like I mean, it probably maybe a decade or two. It probably will change.
I mean, dude, look at someone like Amazon, right? They're like a juggernaut in terms of grocery shopping. They freaking bought Whole
Right.
Foods. They might buy Target.
Oh,
Um,
really?
yeah, I guess maybe it was just a rumor because it never really. There was like a couple articles and it kind of just fizzled out. But I mean, dude, and they're doing movies. They're doing Prime. Like Netflix.
Mm,
Netflix sounds like a joke compared to Amazon because Netflix doesn't have their own grocery thing. They don't have their own books. They don't have anything. All they do is movies, and they're still crushing. They're still,
yeah,
dude. It's look at Hulu. Hulu's doing fantastic stuff. Have you seen Future Man yet? Highly recommend you watch
no,
Future Man.
I know.
Uh,
You
Hulu's
say
creeping
that
up.
you mentioned that more than 50 talks about Den of Thieves.
Which one?
I said you
Oh
mentioned
yeah, I
that
always
more than
bring.
50
I
talks
try
about
to
Den
always
of
add
Thieves.
them in there. Like, and look at what's the other one? What Disney's gonna do something now? What are they gonna call theirs?
Oh yeah, they're doing their own thing, right?
It's and that
I don't
that's
know what they're
how.
calling it. I don't know.
But I gotta give it to Disney. Disney is obviously an old school. They're like an old studio, so they're definitely smart to go that route versus like. But I think everybody's gonna just try to do it though. I don't. I bet you that Netflix is gonna buy some movie studio soon. Like the way Disney
Do they
bought
have enough to do
Fox's.
that?
Yeah, sure. I'm sure they do. But you know
Yeah,
how
but they don't have.
Disney
But
bought Fox's. They
yeah,
bought
but
their.
Disney has way more money than Netflix.
I could see Netflix buying like Sony or something. See that?
You think Netflix has enough to buy Sony? Are you kidding me? Don't forget about all the other shit Sony does.
But dude, Sony's like not dude. Sony's like
Maybe
barely
the
making.
movie, maybe the movie studio, but like Sony's a huge company. They
Like, did you
still have
see
all
how
the
much they
other.
lost? Sony put a lot of betting into Blade Runner, and like they're basically struggling.
Well, I don't know the financials. I mean, it just I don't know. Doesn't seem because Netflix only has one source of revenue, right? Whereas like Sony is like electronics and all this other shit.
Right. I mean, I'm not saying they're gonna buy. They're gonna buy Sony Studios or whatever makes their
The
movies or whatever.
movies too. Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
yeah. They're
That
not
makes
gonna
more
buy.
sense.
Not gonna buy like Sony Electronics, but no, maybe they would. Look at. I remember when Netflix stock was $30. I remember, man. You know how much it is now? It's like over $500.
Oh,
It's
really?
like wow. Like no one bet on Netflix. Everybody was like, Netflix sucks. This is nothing. This is gonna be, maybe this will be the same thing with that one company. What's it called? The one
What?
that does the movie tickets.
Oh, Movie Pass?
Yeah, like I think Movie Pass is gonna go bankrupt. Like
Yeah,
literally.
I don't think they're gonna last till the end of this year.
But that's the thing. Like you have to realize something. Like that's the attitude that people have on Netflix. So like, there's no way they're gonna survive. Like you can't mail DVDs your entire. And then like they had no idea that the internet was gonna save their asses. Um,
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
so I don't
I
know,
mean,
dude. Maybe
yeah,
maybe
could be
Movie
right.
Pass might get a Hail Mary. They might
Yeah,
get something that just technology changes, and all of a sudden Movie Pass is like, oh yeah.
yeah. I never know. All right, well,
But
look, we're coming up to an hour. Let's wind it
we're
down.
getting close.
So you liked Bone Tomahawk. The critics love Bone Tomahawk. Bone Tomahawk. Bone Tomahawk. Got it. Den of Thieves out now in theaters. Um,
Putting in work. Hashtag Den of
We
Thieves.
better,
Hashtag.
if 50 Cent listens to this, he better like give us a shout out and better be like, yo, Den of Thieves in theaters, bad movie review. Check it out.
Let's get that bad movie
Pull
review
out your
on Den of
boys, yeah, right?
Thieves.
And he's gonna be like, they'll never do Den of Thieves because Den of Thieves is awesome.
It's like, dude, but 50 Cent was all about Den of Thieves. He must have had like some. Maybe they're paying him on
He's probably getting
percentage.
royalties, yeah, for like Netflix views. Every view on Netflix, he gets like, $2 or something crazy like
So
that.
this is why 50 Cent is going to be a big star eventually, because I was listening to this one I forgot what the YouTube channel is, but this guy every Sunday he has like a thing where he talks about like all the movies that came out or whatever and all the budgets
Okay.
and like how much they're making and stuff. And dude, like he was like, oh, Den of Thieves made $16 million his first weekend. That's just surprising. Like, like blah 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 blah. It's
Mhm.
and I think the budget was like 35 million, so it's gonna easily make its profit back, or it's gonna make a profit, that is. And that's because of 50 Cent. Hashtag Den of Thieves. Go watch my movie. Can't mess with it.
Hashtag G Unit.
G Unit. Hashtag. Dude, he has the streets going to go see his movies. He's got the streets, baby. Dude, have you seen this guy? Dude, he's like super like on some HGH. The guy's like massive. I was like, I don't even recognize him.
Yes, I have seen 50 Cent.
Dude, this guy is like literally all these rappers are doing it, man. Have you seen The Game? This guy looks like a freaking ox.
Yeah, they're tough.
I gotta say,
All
I
right.
follow all of them on Instagram. I follow The Game. I follow 50. I don't think I follow Floyd anymore. I used
Okay.
to follow Floyd.
So,
So I think
anything else you want to say?
I wanted to mention something else, but I forgot. What are you watching lately?
I haven't watched anything this week. I've just been too busy with other stuff.
What did I see? I saw. Oh, I gotta mention this. I saw Godzilla,
The 2014 remake?
the 2016 remake.
2016. Wait, the
Uh,
Japanese one?
Japanese, all Japanese. The
Okay.
only most tedious thing about it was having to read the subtitles. And it's one of those movies where like they do cut scenes like so quick.
Hmm.
So I literally could not eat any food and just had to watch it as a movie. And it was it was amazing. Like I'm not even kidding, dude.
Yeah.
Like if you think about I just think about all the shitty Godzilla movies that Americans made, and
Hmm.
they just got it all wrong. Like it's I don't I'm telling you, like the only bad thing about it was the subtitle. I want to watch it. I want to rewatch it with like dubbed. I don't care how cheesy the dub
Do they
is.
have that?
I'm sure they do, but I didn't look for it. But it's such an amazing movie, dude. Like it's the destruction in this movie is, and this is the funny thing. They downplay it so normal, like, oh yeah, this is what happens, and like it's just I don't know how they pulled it off, man. Yeah, some scenes look really cheesy, but it works. It
Hmm.
works for that movie. And if you watch there's a trailer. Watch the trailer,
Okay.
and you get goosebumps, bro. You get hyped, like the way they did the trailer and everything. It's like a minute. There's two directors that made it. One guy who did Evangelion. I don't really know what that is, but
Okay.
like
Sounds
some
familiar.
famous
Okay.
anime. It's like Behind the Minds of Evangelion and something else.
Okay.
And they just crushed it, man. They hit it out of the park. Like it's
Okay.
a really good movie. Highly recommend it.
All right.
If you guys haven't seen Icarus, it's a documentary, and I don't really watch documentaries, but I checked this one out. It's pretty good. It's basically every athlete in the Olympics is doping, and they have proof, and it's actually real.
Okay.
So yeah, next week what we're gonna watch.
Hateful Eight, right? We'll make it a Western month.
Good old westerns. Get to get my practice on my
And then
western.
next month we'll watch like movies like Hidden Figures, another like
Oh, dude, like it's
the
the
hell.
sky's the limit now. We're gonna be doing some good stuff. We're gonna be
But
reviewing
I like the
movies.
idea of doing theme months. That was fun, like we did last October.
What did we do last? Oh, we did the like horror
We did the
movies
horror
one.
month, remember?
Oh yeah, definitely. Now we can do whatever we want. Like
Yeah.
we can do like action month.
We could do
What
like
month?
Korean cinema month.
What? Yeah. Oh, dude. What month do you think would be for like action? Action movies.
March? I don't know. I just guessed.
I'm thinking like July. Remember July? July used to be
Okay,
like the,
yeah,
the blockbuster like action month.
makes
Now it's
sense.
not. It used to be.
That makes sense to me. All right. All
Oh,
right.
July, man.
That's it for this week. Bad movie review. Bone
Oh
Tomahawk.
yeah. So wait, though,
Oh, what?
is it good? Is it? Do you think it deserves a
No, I don't think
90?
so.
What do you think it deserves?
I don't know. Way lower than that.
Really?
I didn't really like it. It was I couldn't get into it at all. Maybe I need to watch it a second time like you did to really appreciate it. But
That's what I'm saying. Like the first time I saw it, I think I fell asleep. I always fall asleep. I fell asleep, dude. I fell asleep during Godzilla. I was like falling asleep, but it's still a good movie. Um, oh, I
all
did see all the
right.
all the money in the world.
All right. We're done. We'll talk about it next week.
Oh, we're still recording, baby. Yeah, we're done. All right.
We're done. All
See you
right.
guys next week.
So Hateful Eight, we could talk about all the money in the world and like, subscribe, tell your mom, tell your dad. Den of Thieves in theaters now. Uh Holla at your boy 50. Have a good night.
Holla.
All right. Good night. Bye.
All right. See you guys. Peace.